again! I just realized it's been quite a while since I did a video about publishing and felt the need to, like, you know, at least offer an update of what's going on. Part of the reason it's been so long since I've done a video about publishing is just because I haven't had any progress. I think I mentioned to y'all in the last video, I had a request for a manuscript, and that was wonderful and lovely. I actually had 2 requests for manuscripts, and I sent them off within 24 hours, and then I waited. One of them got back to me eventually, about a month later, but the other one I still haven't heard back from. And that brings up the next step in trying to get an agent. So what happens when you send material out and you wait and you wait and you wait and you don't hear back? Well, there are several agencies that will directly say, if you haven't heard back from me in this many months, send me a prod. Some other places will say, you can prod me after this amount of time. Most places do not want prods for queries. They seem to only want them if they have, like, either partial submission or full submitted manuscript. But some websites don't say anything whatsoever about whether or not they want a prod. But here's the problem. Oh, one quick side note of that. Almost every agent that I've seen does want a prod if you get an offer of representation from somewhere else. Some sites will say if you get a request for a manuscript from somewhere else, you should immediately prod all the agents who currently have your manuscript and be like, hey, just so you know, somebody else is interested. And in fact, that can be very good for you because it shows that you're marketable and that other people want you, and therefore they might be able to get your book in front of an actual, like, publisher. Ooh. But the problem with that is, even though I've found plenty of sites saying you should prod after this amount of time, none of them are consistent about when. I've seen places that will say that if you send in a full manuscript, if you haven't heard back by the end of 2 months, you should prod. I've heard 4 months. I've heard 6 weeks. And I've heard 6 months. The one that I'm waiting to hear back from, we are coming up on the 4th month that I have not heard back. But it doesn't say anything on their website about when to prod, so I'm going to give it at least 6 months. But that also means that I have some more waiting to do, which is not pleasant. But the good news is, during the wait process, I have plenty of time to figure out what the fuck a prod is. I've never had to do this before. I've never had to send a prod. I assume that if I don't hear back from an agent, it's a no. But I've always heard back when I sent in either pages or manuscript, and usually I hear back by the end of the week. So I'm trying my best to consider this a good thing. This is clearly they're considering my work seriously. That's why I haven't heard back in forever. But I don't know. At this point, I am beginning to feel like maybe they forgot that they have it. But I don't know how to write a prod. And this is one that I have Googled. I have looked at all the sites that are like, here's how to write a query. Here's how to write a manuscript. Here's the manuscript formatting that you need. I found all those websites. Have yet to find a single one that tells me what exactly belongs in the prod. Is it supposed to just be a email that literally says the words, hey, I haven't heard from you in 6 months. What's up? Am I supposed to, like, reintroduce which book it is? Am I supposed to be like, hey, I'm the author who wrote the book about the gladiators in the not quite Rome that is vaguely fantasy, and, like, have you heard? Have you read it? Like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know. Should this be one quick line? Should this be the entire, like, page? Fuck if I know. And almost everything else I've been able to find clear information online about what I should do. And this one, I haven't. So no, this is not an informational, helpful, like, vlog video. This is me going, hey, if anyone out there knows how to write a prod, at this point, I might need one, so please help me. Tell me what belongs in this. Might just send them this video. It'll be fine. But in the meantime, I will say I actually took a break when I sent out the manuscript for about 3 months. I just sort of left it and waited to hear back from them because I could have still been querying other agents that entire time. Like, from what I've seen, very few agents are like, no, we want to be the only person with your manuscript. And objectively, by the time I got a request for a manuscript, I had gotten through over 40 queries. So there are still at least 30 people out there who have my query and I'm waiting to hear back from them. But about a month ago, I went ahead and started querying again, just because it feels like this is wasting time. And especially considering I feel like my book was actually vaguely pertinent to the world that I wrote it in. And it's like, okay, the longer we wait, the less pertinent this might be. I sort of need to get this published eventually. So I've gone back to querying. I've sent out an additional, like 10 queries. And immediately gotten rejection of a couple of them because that's pretty normal. Overall, I am over 50 queries sent so far, which, considering I usually get to at least 80 before I give up in depression, I still have a ways to go. There are a couple of agents that I'm really interested in, that I really like, that I really want to query them, but they're not currently open for queries. So there are a couple that I'm just sort of waiting for them to open up to see if I can ever get them. Though one is driving me nuts because she has said, oh yeah, I'm going to open up in a couple of months on her website for about a year now. When I first went to her website, it said, yeah, I'll be opening up in late 2021. And then I went back late 2021 and she was like, okay, I'll be opening up for queries early 2022. And then I went back early 2022 and it's like, mid-spring 2022? And currently it's saying fall 2022. So I don't know if I'm ever going to get to query this one woman that I like her. I want to query her at least. But this is the querying process. And this is also why I find it a little bit infuriating when people tell you to, like, oh, get really attached to your agent, make sure you learn everything about them, and make sure that they're the perfect agent for you. Because it's really disappointing when you get really attached to an agent and then they're just not open for queries for years and years. The other things I said I'd be working on, writing short stories. I did have 2 short stories that I wrote, one of which is actually available on my YouTube if you want to watch it and see if it works as a short story, because I don't think it does. The other one I actually think works better as a short story. I just haven't finished the editing process and put it up because I got distracted editing other things. Also, I had a little trip to Ireland which distracted me and put me off schedule, and I just had COVID for a week and a half. But I'm finally beginning to get back on the schedule, so maybe soon I'll also have a short story to see if I can start sending that out. But beyond that, I don't know, man. Hopefully I'll hear back soon. And if I do hear back, I will inform y'all as to what's going on.
Oh, you almost got it.